What's up, everybody? It's Morgan. I just had some thoughts in my mind today that I wanted to share with you all. So, today we had a family member get married on Jared's side of the family. And so, of course, it was a temple wedding and everything. And we were in the temple waiting room, just, waiting for them to come out and everything. And I don't know, being in those situations, it just kind of brings back a lot of feelings that very much confuse me. So you got to realize all of this is still very new to me, because it hasn't even been a year now that I've been actively kind of trying to decide what to do with my life and with regards to the religion. And so now here I am, just still feeling in conflict. Everything just still feels very confusing and freshly confusing sometimes. And especially when I'm put in situations that trigger a lot of past feelings and thoughts, and it's just really hard. So being there, and just seeing everyone walking in to the temple with their little temple bags and everything, and it just reminds me of how much I really liked that, and there were parts of temple stuff that I didn't like. I didn't like how long the endowment was. I never enjoyed how long that is, but there was a lot that I really liked about it, about the symbolism, about, just good feeling, that feeling I'm a good person. I'm doing something good today. I'm hanging out with God and in his house and what up, So, just feeling I miss that feeling, and also feeling there's a good feeling there still. When I go into the temple, I get a good feeling, and I'm trying to, and it's I feel like if you're non-Mormon, you're watching this, in your mind, you're probably thinking, oh, well, she's getting a good feeling because it's nostalgic. And then if you are Mormon, you're watching it, you're like, oh, she's feeling the spirit and she's denying it. And if you're me, you're thinking, I don't know who to believe, right? Because I don't know if I'm right. And I feel very conflicted. And situations like this just kind of bring up a lot more conflict for me onto the surface. It just kind of reminds me that I don't know what I'm doing and that it's very difficult. There's a lot about this church that I just don't find myself agreeing with anymore. And because of that, it leads me to think that that it can't be the one true church. But then there's a lot that I still like about the church, and I feel in conflict about that. I wish I could still go to the temple, but I'm not actively participating in the way that you're supposed to in order to be worthy to go to the temple. And I don't like that. I don't like that I am considered someone who's unworthy to go to the temple. And I don't even like that because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong in my life. And yet, this is what the situation is. So yeah, it's frustrating, because I think there's the little girl in me that grew up in this church with so much devotion and love for it, that there's that little girl in me that's I just want to go back and just be accepted by everyone and belong with everyone and believe everything the way that I was taught to believe it. But then there's this other part of me that's saying this church isn't what you used to think that it is. And because of that, I feel I can't view it the same way. And so it's hard. It's definitely a catch-22, because I would love to just be able to participate and enjoy good feelings and good thoughts about the parts of it that I like. But, you're leveraged. You have to follow their strict structure. Otherwise, you're just not a, good standing member. Anyway, so I was talking to Jared about it on the way home and just saying, because I feel torn, There's a big part of me that just wants to go back and be you know what? This church gives me a good feeling about certain things, and why not just go enjoy that good feeling? Because I want to have spiritually uplifting things happening for me in my life. And that's largely why I started making these videos in the first place is because I want to explore spirituality, because I feel a lack of it. But I also feel like I can't really attend this church and fully support it when there's so much evidence I feel like I've learned that just makes it impossible to commit myself to it fully again. And so yeah, it's a tricky situation. It really is. I guess I feel like I would love to say that I'm on one side or the other, like I'm like leaning toward one side or the other, but I find that attending these events and things just kind of makes me realize how much I really don't know. Because I'd love to be like, oh, there's so much evidence against the church that I just don't bother going. But at the same time, it's like, well, if it's giving me a good feeling, is that worth, attending, or at least occasionally attending, or half-heartedly attending? I don't know. And it's just hard, because I want to be honest with myself. I want to be true to myself. I want to be me, but sometimes I feel like I don't know who I am anymore, because spirituality has always been a big part of me. And now it's like, I feel like there's this part of me that is missing that aspect of my life, because it was a big part of me, and it was a part of me that I loved, scripture study kind of stuff and things like that. I really did like those things, and I still do. But then there's this other part of me that feels like, to be honest with myself, I have to really be me, and I can't say I agree with something that I don't agree with. And so I feel like I can't really enjoy the good things about this religion without feeling like secondhand agreeing with the things that I don't like about the religion. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I feel very conflicted, because I want to belong in this community, but I don't. I don't want to consider myself one of them, because it's a very narrow kind of stereotype of, when you say I'm Mormon, you think a certain way about all of these specific topics that I don't think that way. So then it's just, I'm left with just wondering back to, if this church isn't true, is there any organization that is true or true? It's such a Mormon thing we say, like, this church is true. Like, what does that really mean? I mean, it means that I think the people in the church will say, like, well, it means that all of the information that is provided through the church leadership and everything is straight from God. And I think there's other churches out there that are, if God is there, I think there's other churches out there that are getting information from God as well. But, who's getting the more right information, or who's getting the better information? Or maybe it's just supposed to be this way and be different to fit different needs of different people. I don't know. I'm just confused. And I don't like to present myself as confused, because I would like to be able to say, like, no, I'm certain, like, in this certain way. But I'm not. And I want to put myself out there the way that I am, because I don't want to pretend to be something that I'm not. And I also want to help people who are confused like me. Yeah, I guess where I'm at is, it's hard, because there's so much, I feel like, in my mind that's stacked up against the church. And I'm enjoying this journey that I'm on, in learning so much, and in exploring different thoughts and ideas and philosophies, and I'm really enjoying that journey. But then there's still, this church will always be a big part of my childhood, and a big part of my life experience, and a big part of who I am. And I'm still trying to learn how to grant myself the ability to enjoy that as much as possible without making myself feel bad or like I'm a bad person for not participating anymore, or I'm just totally wrong. And I could be totally wrong, but I don't want to think that I'm wrong. So anyway, that's just where I'm at. So yeah, it's just kind of tricky going back and dealing with, you know, these family occasions where I have to participate in these activities and just kind of leave myself wondering what it is that I really believe or what it is that I really think. So anyway, that's it for now, but I'm sure I'll be cranking out some more stuff soon. So thanks for listening.